just gotten back from a 10-day trip to America. We went to New York and LA, and I feel like I've literally done all of the research for you if you're also planning a trip there. So in this video, I'm going to go through all the places that I recommend eating in both destinations, where to stay, because I feel like we just nailed the accommodation. I'm also going to do a little Q&A at the end because I popped a question box on my Instagram story and a few of you had questions. So we'll go through those at the end. For those of you who might be new here, my name's Ebony and I'm based in Brisbane, Australia, but I do love to travel whenever I can. I genuinely do travel for food. Like, that is the reason that I go on holidays, is to just eat as much as physically possible. And I feel like New York was an absolute playground for this. I had about 150 different places saved in my Google Maps to try while we were there. We got through about 20, which is still a good effort for 5 days. But in saying that, one thing I recommend doing before we get into it is to download Google Maps. This is not sponsored. This is not an ad by any means. It's just an app that I find really, really useful when you're traveling overseas. I didn't know this before I started using Google Maps. You can actually start popping together folders. So before I go to a destination, I'll do a lot of research on TikTok and YouTube, trying to find places to eat and where to stay and that sort of thing. And I'll have one for New York, LA, Japan, wherever I'm going, and I'll slowly save different food spots within the Google Maps. The good thing that I like about it is that then you can view it. You can click on your Japan folder and it will show all of the different places across Tokyo, for example, or across Osaka. So you can see how far places are from your hotel, how far they are from one another. If you're wanting to do, especially in New York, we found that it was easier to do split the days up into sections. So we'll do like the Upper West Side on Wednesday, and you can see all of the food spots that are in that area. That would be my number one recommendation to do before we get into this video. So as I'm talking, you can start adding things in. If you're new here, I only started posting on YouTube this year. I think this is my 3rd video. So I'm still trying to find my way, still trying to get used to talking to camera, which I find quite difficult. And right now I'm filming on my phone, and I'm really hoping that my phone storage doesn't fill up. I did have my laptop over here with screen mirroring, but it keeps turning off. So I don't know if it's going to run out of storage, and it's stressing me out. I always have Google Maps on my phone, obviously, and it has all my different lists. I don't know if there's a way that I can provide that to you guys without, I don't know. I need to think of something, but let me know if you think that would be useful. If I figure it out, I'll pop the link in the description anyway. But yeah, let me know if you'd like to see something like that. I would love to one day do like travel guides, but I wasn't sure if people would download them and pay for them, because obviously there's a bit of work that goes into them. But anyway, let's get into it. So in this video, as I mentioned, I'm going to be covering LA and New York. We'll start with New York. Firstly, where to stay. New York is so big. I genuinely don't know what would be the best place to stay, maybe depending on kind of what you're hoping to do while you're there. The subway will honestly be your best friend, and the subway is super, super easy to navigate, especially if you use Google Maps. I found that using Apple Maps was nowhere near as good as Google Maps. It will literally tell you, like, look for this sign. So Google Maps is just an all-round amazing app to have, so download it right now. But anyway, we stayed at Roma in Hell's Kitchen. So Hell's Kitchen is located just below Central Park and also like a few blocks away from Times Square. So I feel like if it's your first time going to New York, it's a really great location to stay in. Obviously, walking distance to Times Square, amazing, and then Central Park, amazing. We had a subway station across the road from us and 2 blocks down, so every morning, no matter where we're going, it was at one of those subway stations. So that made everything a lot easier. I don't know if that's the case with every area that you stay in. I imagine that the city is quite accessible no matter what area you're in. The hotel itself was like a boutique hotel, really nice rooms. There was a cafe downstairs that was really cute, like a co-working space as well. So obviously there were hotel guests there, but a lot of the time there were people potentially having meetings or working on their laptops. So if you are like a digital nomad of any means or working while you're on holidays, it's a really great place to be. We were there on a work trip, so we're doing a lot of like video editing and that sort of stuff, and being able to go down there instead of just sitting in the room was actually really nice. And one of the things that I loved about this hotel, and I don't know if this is at every hotel in America, but there was a water dispenser in the hallway as well as an ice dispenser, so you could have ice cold water at any time of the day. And that was just the best thing ever, because lukewarm water is just not ideal. It was so good. So that was a big selling point for me, I'm not going to lie. I would 100% recommend staying at that hotel. I loved it. The staff were amazing. Everything was just tick, tick, tick. Chipotle's across the road, Taco Bell's across the road. Yeah, you're within walking distance to everything. Like I said, Times Square and everything like that. So super accessible. Okay, next on to the fun part. So where to go for food. As I mentioned, I think I had like 150 different places saved in my Google Maps. We obviously were not going to get through all of those in 5 days, but we gave it our absolute best shot. I think we ended up getting through 20, and I've got about 9 or 10 places that I think are a must. I also did vlog every day of this trip, which is posted on Instagram and TikTok. My username is wanderingelsewhere_. So if you want to go and watch those, if you're more of a visual learner and want to actually watch us doing it, it's on Instagram and TikTok. So number one recommendation, if you're going to New York, is John's of Bleecker Street Pizza. If you are familiar with One Bite Pizza reviews, then you will already know what I'm talking about, or you'll understand the importance of going there. And for those of you that don't know, One Bite Pizza Reviews is, if I can explain it the best way I can, it's a YouTube channel called One Bite Pizza Reviews. You can go and have a look. There are literally pizza reviews that are posted by the one guy, Dave Portnoy, almost every day. There are hundreds and hundreds of pizza reviews on there. And from what I know, John's of Bleecker Street Pizza in New York is the highest rating as of yet. And it's been going for years. I went with two other girls who had no idea what One Bite Pizza Reviews were, who Dave Portnoy was. And I honestly only learnt it all from my boyfriend. But when we were in there, there were, a few people on the other table saying, oh my God, talking about One Bite Pizza reviews. And it definitely has become not a tourist attraction, but almost people definitely go there because of the rating. But the pizza was incredible. So the vibe inside the restaurant is amazing. It's like this old pizzeria, it was started in 1929. It just had the booths. The pizza itself was thin, crispy, delicious. The two girls that I went with, they were kind of this is your thing. You can have your pizza. We'll still come with you, but we don't really feel like pizza. They had one bite and everyone ended up having two slices. So they were definitely mind blown. I was even mind blown because I think in Australia, we're very used to having the really thick pizzas. I can't really ever say that I've had a really good pizza in Australia. Maybe I'm just not going to the right places, but it was really, really good. Really good. I think the whole thing cost me, I got the John's original pizza, which is the one that was reviewed, and that was $22 US. $22 US dollars. Jeez. But I would love to go back multiple times. I even have a sandwich of some sort on the menu that I really want to try. There's pastas on there too. It just looks really good. Everything is really good. So that's my number one recommendation. Next is a coffee shop in Nolita called NYC. This is just a really cute little cafe. There's very limited seating both inside and outside, but they have fun drinks. So they had a red velvet latte. I loved the cinnamon roll iced latte. I have not drank coffee in more than 5 years. I just don't really like iced coffee. I'm a matcha girly, and that was the first coffee that I've had that has converted me back to liking coffee. And I'm not joking. I've been craving it every day since. It's now been 2 weeks since we got back, or since I had that, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. So it was really, really good. Would 100% recommend going there. They seem to always have fun drinks. I think there was a banana bread latte, and when I looked at their Instagram, they kind of have fun drinks on rotation. So that's a really, really cool little spot. Next, Lost Tacos, number one. One thing about me is that I'm very much a savory girly. So whenever I had the opportunity to try tacos or pizza or anything like that, I'm there. We went to the location near Times Square at nearly midnight and it was busy. We didn't have to wait in line, but there were there was barely any room to stand to eat in a good way. It was really, really cool vibe. And to have that at nearly midnight in Australia, you might have it in Melbourne or Sydney, but Brisbane, you'd be dreaming. So it was just a really cool vibe. The tacos were amazing, but the steak quesadilla is what you have to order, in my opinion. That was the best. Next is Becco in Hell's Kitchen. So if you plan on staying at the same hotel that we did, Becco is an Italian restaurant that's a short walk away, and they offer all-you-can-eat pasta for $36. Which is insane. They have 3 pastas that rotate nightly. So the chef will decide which pastas are on each night and they'll rotate through the flavors. I can't remember what we had, but there's a really nice gnocchi, spaghetti bolognese. I don't know, but it was really good. And especially when it's cold. Oh, love an Italian restaurant when it's cold. Sunday morning is then a place we can go for cinnamon scrolls or cinnamon rolls. I said cinnamon scrolls in all of my videos and a lot of Americans were like, what is a cinnamon scroll? We call them cinnamon rolls. I actually like the sound of cinnamon rolls better, but we call them scrolls in Australia from what I know. These are potentially the best cinnamon rolls in the city. They are served warm and they are incredible. The dough is so pillowy soft. The sauces are gooey. We tried the banana bread, the blueberry and the original. I didn't love the blueberry, but I love the banana bread and the original and would 100% go back. We tried a few other cinnamon roll places while we were there and they were nowhere near as good. Sunday morning for me was the best. Next is Pastry Box. So apparently these guys have the best chocolate chip cookie in New York. At the time when we had it, I was like, how good can a chocolate chip cookie be? But we didn't eat it all and we took it back to the hotel room. And then later that afternoon I had some and I was like, why does it taste better? It was almost like caramelized on the bottom, a little bit salty. Like, to be honest, I do think it's the best chocolate chip cookie I've probably ever had. And it was like thin, crispy. I don't think you should go there with the intention of being the best cookie they've ever had in your life. Just go there with the intention of it being a nice chocolate chip cookie, and you'll probably enjoy it a lot more. Bagels. Apollo bagels were my favorite bagels. We only tried 2 places. I don't know why I'm saying like that's such a big deal. It's actually around the corner from Pastry Box if you're wanting to go on a little food tour. I had just had the tomato and cream cheese bagel, which I think was $7 USD. I actually loved that it was served in 2 halves, especially if you're like traveling with someone else and you want to share multiple things. You can both have 1 half of the bagel. This is going to be controversial, but for the Australians that are visiting America and you're wanting to try fast food chains, I do recommend trying Chipotle. There were people that were commenting on my video saying, you know, this is corporate bowl slop. Don't eat this when you come to America, Like, I should have gone to places like Los Tacos, number 1, which I think you should still definitely go to Los Tacos. That is definitely the priority. But if you are wanting to try American fast food while you're there, I do recommend trying Chipotle. I really, really liked it. I thought it was like sombreros with GYG chicken, but better. The serving size is obviously insane. The amount of sour cream they put on is insane, but it was really good. When you've been exploring all day and you kind of want to grab something lazy, Chipotle. I had Raising Cane's, thought it was okay. I think it was actually very overwhelming because we went to the Times Square location on a Saturday night, and that was a lot. The Australian dupes of Raising Cane have done so well that it really doesn't feel that special anymore to go over there, if that makes sense. Now, moving on to things to do in New York that I thought were worth the hype. The Lee Wren Beauty Salon Blowout. If you have seen online the $30 blowout and you get your hair, it looks all gorge. Yeah, we went to the one that was in Chinatown called Lee Wren Beauty Salon. It's literally from the minute you walk in to the minute you walk out, it's about 30 minutes. They're washing your hair, they're blow drying your hair. They've got 2 dryers at once as they're going through your hair. Like, they do not mess around. It does end up costing more than $30. It does depend on the length of your hair. So I think mine was $30 because the girls' hairs were longer, maybe 35 or 40. And then I can't quite remember. And then you have to tip as well. So it does end up being more, but it's amazing, and definitely go on your first day. We went on our last day and I was like, wait, I would have loved to have had this hair the whole time we were here. But if you go on your first day, you can have like such nice hair for, you know, the time that you're there. I feel like that'd be really nice. Around the corner from the from Lee Wren Beauty Salon is then the Old Friend photo booth. If you don't know what this is, it's like a vintage photo booth that does really, really cool photos. It's $8 for like a strip of 4. We were luckily didn't have to wait in a queue, but I have seen that there can be some really long queues, especially in summer. So go to that with your new hair. I feel like that's so cute and girly. I realized that I didn't really recommend any matcha places in New York, which I'll get to at the end because I have something to say about it. While looking for a matcha spot, we didn't get the chance to go to 12 Matcha, but it looks amazing, and I've seen a lot of TikTok comments about it when I've been doing research that apparently it is really good. So that's the only one I have. I'm sorry. I just couldn't find a good one. It's honestly so funny because I have that coffee from Enley has genuinely converted me back to coffee, which is weird. Like, I still drink matcha at home, but on the weekends, like even late at night, randomly, like 8 o'clock last night, I'm like, I want a coffee so bad. I still am thinking about that one from Enley, and it genuinely has converted me back to drinking coffee. So I don't know if that's a good thing, but yeah. And I had some comments on one of my videos saying, wait, the fact that you're Australian and you liked American coffee better, like, I can't trust your recommendations now. Like, they're kind of joking around, but it's funny because a lot of the drinks in America are actually just very weak compared to Australian drinks. Like, the matcha's very milky, the coffee's like quite milky, which is I think why I liked it a lot more. Obviously, like, if a girl doesn't like coffee and then she goes to America and the coffee's milky, I'm gonna like it more because it doesn't really taste like coffee. If you're going to America, the drinks are definitely way more milky than Australia. Way more. And I really struggled to find good matcha. Okay, now we're going to move on to LA. So the flight from New York to LA, I think, was about 5 hours. If you're kind of wanting to plan how to do the trip, we went from Brisbane to LA, stayed there one night just to break up the flight, and then flew from LA to New York, stayed in New York for about 6 days, and then flew back to LA, did 2 nights there, and then flew back to Australia. Flight from Brisbane to LA is about 12 hours on the way over, and I think like nearly 14 on the way back or 13 on the way back. So it just breaks up the flight a little bit, and I was so grateful that we did that because I don't really love a 15-hour plus travel day, to be honest. We stayed at the Mondrian in West Hollywood. I thought this was the best location. There's a girl looking at me and I feel awkward. Across the road from us, we had a place called the Comedy Store. If you're into comedy, you'll know exactly what this is. I called my boyfriend when we got there and I was like, I don't know, we're thinking about going to like the comedy show. He's like, yeah, the Comedy Store. That's like the most iconic comedy thing ever. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we're going. So that's literally across the road. Like you can see it from the hotel lobby. It's across the road. There's then like really nice cafes around the area. You can walk down to Melrose Avenue. Like it was the perfect hotel. Also got a really nice restaurant and like a pool area. We went when it wasn't that warm, so the pool area was undercover, but in summer it looks gorgeous. So there's also like always influencers and celebs and stuff. Well, just the whole of West Hollywood really, but apparently always at this hotel. So if you want to do some celeb spotting, it's good for that. From there, we literally pretty much walked to all of the spots I'm about to tell you, except one. So it's just a really nice central hotel. So you've got Dialogue Cafes. I always see different Australian influencers going here, but it was like, honestly, West Hollywood in general is like a fever dream. Like you've got self-driving cars, there's the robots delivering food, and then you're sitting next to movie directors at breakfast. Like it's very weird as an Australian, I feel, because that just never happens here. They've got heaps of outdoor seating. It's really nice if there's nice weather. Definitely recommend trying the strawberry kiss smoothie. I thought it was so good. We tried like the Santa Fe chicken wrap and the Caesar wrap, but we thought it was like, okay, I wouldn't go back for that. The coffee and matcha here was pretty good too. Milky, but good. Next is Community Goods. If you don't know of this cafe, I fear you may be living under a rock. I don't know. Hailey and Justin Bieber apparently go here. Apparently it's one of their favorite cafes, and this is the only line that we had to wait in the entire time in America. Really lucky. We went in February, so like New York was snowy, LA was, mix of warm and cool. So I just don't think it was peak season, but there was still a line at Community Goods, and I think we waited about 30 minutes. So Community Goods is a cafe that's on Melrose Avenue, which is like a popular kind of like strip of shops and really cool cafes and vintage stores and everything like that. I had to wait about 30 minutes. They're really well known for their coffees, matcha, like topped with cold foam. Really well known for their breakfast sliders, which we had every intention of getting, but we didn't realize that they aren't available after midday because they're a breakfast item, which makes perfect sense, but we just didn't realize that. So if you are planning to try them, go before midday. Wake and Late. Oh my God, this is my number one recommendation for LA. It literally this is coming, this is coming from someone who doesn't like breakfast food. I don't like eggs. I don't like bacon. Hash browns, not really too fast. Like it's just not for me. I will typically skip breakfast, just have a fun drink and have lunch. I'd rather have lunch for breakfast. Okay. This is just setting the scene. One morning I woke up craving a burrito. Don't know why. A breakfast burrito. I was like, I'm going to go get one. No, I had no idea that LA was actually like known for their breakfast burritos. Anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get a breakfast burrito. Found this place, Wake and Late, walking distance from the hotel. The best breakfast burrito I've ever had in my life. I've been trying to recreate it at home, and then I had one the other day. Like I made one the other day. It was nowhere near as good, and now I feel like I don't want to make it again because it was just not good. And the egg ick is back. But this thing was so good. I had so it was the breakfast burrito. It has avocado, eggs, cheese. I added bacon, and then it's got tater tots in there. And we got it with a coriander or cilantro. I think they're the same thing, aren't they? Coriander or cilantro creamer to dip it into. So good. I'm not joking. It was so good. Tortilla was so soft. They are quite small. I shared it with one of the girls, but you could probably have one to yourself, to be honest. Like they are quite small. And if you do have the egg ick, you can barely taste the egg. Like I'm not an egg girl, as I've tried to tell you. I'm not an egg girl. So no, I found it perfect. I'd nearly recommend going there over Community Goods. I didn't try the breakfast sliders, so I can't talk. But next is a place called Olive and James. This is a place that I'd actually been following on social media for ages because they have the cutest little cups. I work in social media for like cafes and restaurants. I'm always looking at different cafes for inspo. But this was the best matcha of the whole trip. It wasn't milky. It was perfect. The girls loved their coffee from here. We went to the Melrose Avenue location, and I just thought it was really like cute. You can kind of sit there with your drink. The staff were lovely. They have a really nice toilet here, just in case you need to go to the toilet randomly. It's like literally the best toilet of the whole trip as well. It's near Community Goods, I think, but it's not like next door. It's like a bit of a walk up Melrose Avenue, but around this area there's heaps of cool vintage stores. There's even like this vintage shop, which I'll pop the location on the screen, but they have a section on the wall where Britney Spears had signed like years ago, and then they give you a pen and you can like go and sign the wall yourself. So it was just like a really cool little area. We did this on our last day. Last little recommendation for food is In-N-Out. Again, if you're wanting to try American fast food while you're in America, I do recommend trying In-N-Out. Just try it for the experience because it honestly is really cool. Like, like the vibe in there, it's very much like what we see on the movies as Australians, and, them calling out the numbers over the speaker. It's like a little bit overwhelming, but also like fun. Fries for me, I did not like at all. I thought they had like a really weird texture. It literally felt like you're eating cardboard. Like, I love McDonald's fries in Australia. I love fast food, but it just didn't hit the same. The fries were not it, but the burger, I rate it. The burger was good. 3 of us girls were all like, that tastes like Hungry Jack's, but better. But it does taste like Hungry Jack's, but it was really good. I'd definitely go back for the burger. In LA, in terms of things to do, definitely go see a show at the Comedy Store. I think it was like $50 per person, and it went for a few hours. They do give you a pouch to lock your phone into when you first go in, so you can't take any photos or videos or anything like that. But we saw comedians like Theo Von, Tony Rock, a few other like, I'm going to pop her on the screen. She opened for the awards. It was a really, really fun night. That's something good to do. Definitely walk down Melrose Avenue. Like, there's the Meta Shop. Randomly, we met Jerry Seinfeld in Solomon, so that was really cool. It's definitely weird as Australians going there when we grow up on American movies and like see all of these actors, like Jerry Seinfeld, for example, seeing him on TV since, or, you know, my dad watching Seinfeld since I was like 5, and then seeing him in real life, I was like, what's happening right now? We even randomly met Penn Badgley in New York, randomly just walking around Soho. And again, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I've been watching you on, you know, Gossip Girl, and now I'm seeing you in real life and hearing your voice. It's just weird. Okay, and lastly, finishing off with a little Q&A that you guys had. So, is there anything you don't recommend or thought was overhyped? Firstly, I don't know if this is controversial. I've had a lot of people agree with me when I said this on TikTok and Instagram, but Blank Street, I think that Blank Street is really overhyped. Again, is it just because America's drinks in general are really milky? But it just was like literally this huge glass of green milk, the matcha. I just had a plain matcha, did not think anything of it, would never go back there unless someone changed my mind. I remember seeing so many people hype it up. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. No, bad. I didn't like it at all. Maybe I just had a bad experience. Apparently the one in London, like the Blank Street in London, is better. So I'll try that if I ever get there. I also thought that Leon's Bagels might have been a little bit overhyped. And again, a lot of people commenting on my videos on TikTok saying Leon's Bagels is not a good representation of American bagels. Like, go here instead, blah, blah, blah. Maybe if I liked egg and bacon, as I said, I do not like egg and bacon, but the girls had the egg and bacon bagel and loved it. I had the salmon and cream cheese bagel and I was just like, yeah, they have really cool marketing, like the packaging and the store is really cool. Like, I think it's still cool to go there. And I think maybe if we had gone in summer, I don't know if that's what people get and then they go and eat it in Central Park. I just feel like that'd be so cute. Anything that surprised you? Well, randomly, it's that the drinks are really milky. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. I liked it in terms of the coffees because that meant I actually liked the coffees because they weren't too strong. But when it came to matcha, not good. Also, tipping culture. We don't have that in Australia, obviously, and I don't think I've ever really experienced that anywhere that I've traveled. But the difference that it makes, like, we actually received some of the most incredible customer service. Like, even at Starbucks, I'll never forget the guy that served us because he was just amazing. I felt like the customer service was just like incredible. Amazing. Did you have to provide social media accounts when applying for a visa? Yes, I did, but I never heard anything more about this, so I have no idea what happened with that information. But it was fine. So yeah, was it as scary as it seems? This is the last question I'm answering. This question is something that I've been asked so many times since we got back. And to be honest, I was actually really scared to go to America. I have been for the last few years. It hasn't necessarily been on my bucket list. This was a work trip, which is why I went. There's just a lot of things that we see on the media and everything over here, which had just given me this, I guess, like false idea of what it was going to be like. I just found that people were really, really lovely and like everyone went above and beyond. I don't know if it's when people hear the Australian accents that they're like, oh my God, like, where are you from? I have a brother in Cairns, or like, I just found that people were really, really welcoming. But no, it was not as scary as it seems. And I genuinely cannot wait to go back. Like, cannot wait. Jake and I will hopefully go back next year. We don't know yet. We don't know exactly where we want to go. We've always wanted to go to Texas. I honestly don't think I'll ever forget that trip ever. We went in February and I got to see snow for the first time, which was the most incredible thing. And I just think that trip will live rent-free in my head for a very long time. Like, I got to experience so many amazing things, meet so many lovely people. And yeah, it was just, I just loved it so much. I could cry right now. I hope this video helps. I know I went on a little bit of a tangent, but as I mentioned, download Google Maps, start saving all the different places that you see. Like, if you do, for me, when I do my research, I will literally go on TikTok and watch people's videos, like places that they ate in New York and LA, and see if I would like the vibe. Like, I have a certain vibe that I look for, certain foods that I look for, and then that'll, just determine whether I save it into my list or not, especially Google reviews. If the reviews are bad, I won't be saving it. Let me know if you like this style of video. Obviously, I'm still trialing the whole YouTube thing. I enjoy making this style of video, and to be honest, I enjoy watching this style of video because I love having my Google Maps up and like writing notes, and I'm a very type A traveler. If you haven't already, subscribing would obviously mean so much to me, especially as I'm starting to build up this account. As I mentioned, I also post on TikTok and Instagram. I'll pop the links in the description. I post a lot more over there. It's not just once a month, it's every day. So you can feel free to go and follow me over there. Going overseas a few more times this year, so hopefully I'll actually be able to vlog on the trip. With this being a work trip, that was just going to be way too hard. I've got Singapore in the works, a cruise, we're going back to Amsterdam. So I have a lot more content coming this year, especially in the travel space, which is really exciting. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message on Instagram or TikTok. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.